So goal number 4, we're identifying parallel and perpendicular lines from equations. So we have 3 lines. And I want to do it algebraically, but I also want to check it graphically later, okay? So I see 3 lines, line 1, line 2, and line 3. And in order to tell whether they are parallel to each other or perpendicular or neither, we need their slope, right? Line 2 looks especially friendly. Take a look. Line 2 is already in slope-intercept form. So slope of line 2, I can say that it is 5/2. The other ones are not so friendly. We have to rewrite them, line 1 and line 3, so that we can find their slope. So I'm going to start with line 3, okay? Because line 3, there's only one thing that we need to do. We can divide everything by 2. So line 3 becomes y equals 5/2x plus 3/2. The first thing I had to do was to make sure that all the equations are in slope-intercept form in order for me to tell the slope. I just found that the line 3 also has a slope of 5/2. Yay! So guess what? You see how line 2 and line 3 have the same slope? So line 2 and line 3 must be parallel. So they are the same. They're the same. Yay! Same slope. So I'm going to go down to the bottom of this page and tell them that line 2 and line 3 are parallel. Okay, down here, line 2 and line 3 are parallel. All right, let's figure out the slope for line 1 because the first 2 blanks I need to talk about line 1. So line 1, let me bring this down a little bit, okay? Because this is going to require the most work. I'll copy this down here and I'll work with line 1. First thing I need to do is move this 4x to the right side so that I will have 10y equals negative 4x minus 8, right? And then divide everything by 10. I will get positive y equals. Now let's go ahead and simplify this fraction because this is a slope. I have negative 4/5. 4 and 5 are both even numbers, so I can divide them by 2. Half of 4 is 2. Half of 10 is 5. So the slope is negative 2/5. Let me go ahead and simplify this too. The y-intercept is negative. Well, both are also even, right? Half of 8 is 4. Half of 10 is 5. So this is line number 1. What's the slope? Slope is negative 2/5. So this is the slope of line number 1. I'll go ahead and write that above with the rest of them. Slope of line number 1 is equal to negative 2/5. Now look at the slopes for me over here. First of all, line number 1 has a slope that is negative, and the other ones have positive slope. So it's not parallel. This line is not going to be parallel because slopes are not the same. But hey, if it's negative, if it's opposite in sign, it may be opposite reciprocal. So let me take a look. 2/5 flipped is 5/2. Oh, guess what? This M1 is opposite reciprocal of the slope of line 2 and slope of line 3. So guess what? Line number 1 must be perpendicular to the other guys. So that's what I'm going to say. Line 1 and 2 are perpendicular. Also, line 1 and 3 are perpendicular because line 1 has a opposite reciprocal slope to line 2 and 3. I'm going to go ahead and check these graphically, okay? So I will graph the original functions without, before I did anything. So let me go ahead and delete all of these that I have here already. So first equation was 4x plus 10y equals negative 8. Let me just graph all of them. Line number 2 is y equals 5 over 2x minus 4. All right, what's line number 3? Line number 3 is 2y equals 5x plus 3. Look at these equations for the lines for me. This is beautiful. I can see that the blue, line 2 and line 3, blue and the green are parallel, like we said. But line number 1, this red line going through both the green and the blue are making two 90-degree angles. So I think we're right. We did a great job here. Line 1 is definitely perpendicular to line 2 and line 3. Okay? So that's it for this example, but I do want to show you one more thing because mine, they all had a special relation, right? They were either parallel or perpendicular. But there are some problems that I noticed that you will have to say neither, okay? For example, what if you have a slope that is, okay, I should say what if. I see that on my Disney Plus. I don't know what that is. I should probably watch it one day. What if M1 is equal to 2/3? Okay, and M2 is equal to 3/2. You know how often a lot of students will say these two lines are, these two slopes are opposite reciprocal. And they say, oh, these two lines must be perpendicular. But that's not true, right? This is positive. And this is also positive. But in order to have opposite reciprocal, one has to be positive, one has to be negative. So if this happens, you're going to have to tell them neither because it's not the same fraction. 2 over 3 is different from 3 over 2. But because one of them is missing a negative sign, they're not opposite reciprocal, so they're not going to be perpendicular lines. They're not going to be the slopes of perpendicular lines. So if something like this happens, you're going to have to say neither parallel or perpendicular, okay? So pay attention to those ones for me, and if you run into anything that is too different from what we went over in these videos, I want you to reach out so that I can go over those for you, okay?